welcome to the Everything Voiceover podcast. My name is Justin D. Torres, and today we're going to go into a little about kind of voice acting. And in particular, we're going to talk about using your body. Now, I'm a huge proponent of this, that your body affects your voice. If you've ever done improv and you want to start a scene and you change a little bit of your body, you'll find it affecting your entire performance. You'll find it affect the way you speak and the way you walk and the person you are. If you're crouched over, you might be an old man, or if you're standing up really straight, you may have a higher class than someone else. The same thing works for voiceover. It's acting. It is what it is, and as opposed to going to years and years of acting school, there's some basic things you can do with your body to help affect your voice. And this may be a little bit of a weird podcast, but I encourage you to stay and bear with me. And if I tell you to get up and do something, or if I do something crazy on this podcast, just bear with me. Acting is weird. And if you've ever had an acting teacher, they're all weird. The first acting teacher I had in college used to wear a corset, and she was an amazing acting teacher. One of the best. Inspired me to go on to do acting work later in life, and even now doing voiceover. Being a voiceover actor is more than just the idea of acting. Your body will be a huge key to getting your point across. And if you're doing voiceover, I've kind of set up, and this is just an opinion of mine, there are 5 major tools that you have at your disposal when it comes to your body. The first one is your mouth. Second one is your face. The other one is your hands, and then your voice itself, and then your body, which is basically posture and whatnot. You can use any combination of 2 or 3 or just one of those, and if you contort it enough, or you change it enough, and you really allow your mind to affect your voice, you will find yourself doing and sounding differently. Sometimes it's very subtle, and sometimes it's very obvious. And if you're looking for character voices for video games, your body is your best friend. So what we're going to do is we're going to run down each individual part of your body that I've stated is a great tool for you, and I'm just going to state how I'm going to change it, and hopefully when I do the change, you'll hear, and I want you to specifically hear the difference between me saying it regularly and me saying it a specific way. Now, the script that I'll use will be everything voiceover, all the information you need to start your voiceover career. That'll be the script. Everything voiceover, all the information you need to start your voiceover career. Now let's start with your mouth. First off, and I have an article on this in Everything Voiceover. It's smiling. Smiling is your best friend. And you would be surprised how many people do not smile. And even now when I'm doing the podcast, I just smiled just a second ago, and I'm smiling now, so maybe you'll hear a little bit of a difference between me smiling and me not smiling. Smiling is going to be so useful for products and commercials and promos. So there's different types of smiles. There's small smiles, there's crooked smiles, there's big smiles. Let me see if you can hear the difference between me not smiling and saying something and smiling. So we're going to start with everything voiceover. I'm not smiling now. Everything voiceover. All the information you need to start your voiceover career. That's no smile. Small smile. Everything voiceover. All the information you need to start your voiceover career. Now here's going to be a big smile. Everything voiceover. All the information you need to start your voiceover career. Now, first you might think, well, he's just changing it up because he needs to make it different. But the fact of the matter is, I'm just allowing my body and my brain to affect the way, allowing my body to affect the way I speak. It's as simple as if you're listening to a phone and you hear someone on the other line and you can tell that person might be a little sad, or is that person not even smiling, or is that person not want to talk to me? You can hear that. Let's talk about other things you can do with your mouth. If you do a little side smile, like a little Elvis smile, you might sound like Elvis. I'm going to do it with a side smile. Everything voiceover. All the information you need for your voiceover career. I kind of sound like a mobster. Now, if I go into that and I go further, everything voiceover. All the information you need to start your career in voiceover. All I'm doing is allowing what my face does to affect my performance. And it feels a little better because, like, if I'm trying to sound like myself and I've got this thing on my face, it might sound like it might sound very weird, but if I just allow my brain to affect, to kind of make assumptions about the performance, who knows, you might find a different sounding voice than you ever did. Let's take an underbite. So if you protrude the bottom of your mouth, your chin out further, this is me doing an underbite. So I'm sounding like this, and I've got a natural lisp. Everything voiceover. All the information you need to get started in your career in voiceover. Now, probably not something I would use. Probably not for commercials. But hey, if you're doing a video game, you may find yourself going, "The quest that you need is beyond the wall." So, and then there's overbites as well. If you stick out your buck tooth and you're like, "Everything voiceover, all the information you need for your voiceover career." Now, I kind of sound like Mike Tyson there. Now, that wasn't something I planned beforehand, but I'm just allowing it to affect it. So what I want you to do is just try and smile and say something, maybe do an overbite and say something, do an underbite and say something, do a little side Elvis thing and say something, and try and figure out, hey, you might sound like somebody else. Allow your brain to affect the way you speak. Now, through that same accord, you can use your face. The obvious thing for men is if you want to do a cool thing, you may want to squint. So if I'm doing just regular, everything voiceover, all the information you need to start your voiceover career. Now, if I really squint and I look like maybe Alec Baldwin and I'm like, yeah, this kind of sound like that. Everything voiceover, all the information you need to get you started in voiceover. That wasn't the right words, but you can see that if you allow just the little, see, I'm still squinting right now. This is what I'm doing when I'm squinting. I feel like I'm really getting into something here. I mean, it's kind of fun. It's like you're improvising. You're having fun with what you can do, what your body can do, and allowing yourself to just be inspired to do different things. There's an actual actor thing where you want to exercise your face. You do a big out. You just open your eyes and you pull back your eyebrows and you open your mouth and you're like, I'm a lion. And then you squint and you squint your entire face and I'm a little mouse. So if you think about it, and if you're just listening, those are two different characters. All right, now that the weird stuff is over, the next stuff is going to be a little bit more simple, and I promise you, this is maybe something I regret doing because it's very weird to listen to, and I hope it doesn't go viral, or maybe it does go viral, I don't care. Your hands are a huge, amazing tool for voiceover, and the first thing that helps is that you can point. If you point during a specific word, you will make an accent on that word. Trust me. Like as everything voiceover, all the information you need to start your career in voiceover, to start your voiceover career, what I'm going to do is I'm going to point at 3 words, and you try and figure out which words I pointed at. Everything voiceover, all the information you need to start your voiceover career. I did everything, information, start. Now I'm going to point at 3 different ones. Everything voiceover, all the information you need to start your voiceover career. Pointed at everything, and I believe it's your career. I wasn't 100% sure. But as you can tell, it almost, just the pointing, gives it entirely different meaning. If I only point at career, listen to how different it sounds. Everything voiceover, all the information you need to start your voiceover career. It's just accenting, just pointing. Now, another thing, if you ever find yourself going through a script and there's a word that's weird and it sounds so hard to do, or it's mispronouncing it over and over again, try and point once you hit that word. And I guarantee you might hit it about 50% on a better time. So like if there's a word that's like justified, or if there's a word that's like a onomatopoeia or something weird and it just doesn't sound right, point when you say it, and I guarantee you it will help, if not solve the bloody problem. I guarantee you it helps. The other way you can do it, and it works so well if you cup your 2 hands together as if you were under a hose and you were just collecting water in your hands, in the palm of your hands, and you just push it forward as if you were presenting, like if you were going to present your hands and there's like a present there that you were presenting. If you use that during the name or the name of the brand, it will sound very, very different. I guarantee you. Let's take, for example, Kleenex, right? The softer brand. Kleenex. Let's say that. Let's say if that was our thing. The softer brand, Kleenex. Now I'm going to use my palm. The softer brand, Kleenex. Everything voiceover. All the information you need to start your voiceover career. Just by extending your body and pushing that present forward, this is something I'm giving to you. Suddenly, it has more value than the rest of the script. I'm hoping you're able to hear that, and I want you to give it a try. Next time you hit up a brand and you're doing a voiceover audition, put those two palms together and just hit that brand. The next one, what you can do with your hands, and it's kind of like your body, is the shrug. The shrug. Now, whenever you're doing like, I don't know, it's your palms are out, and then you've got your hands kind of to your side, and then your shoulders come up. You're like, I don't know, If you do that a couple of times during an audition, it automatically makes your audition a little more conversational. I'm going to shrug once during the everything voiceover script, and see if you can try and feel if it sounds more conversational. First, I'm going to do it regular. Everything voiceover. All the information you need to start your voiceover career. I'm going to shrug now. See if it feels a little more conversational. Everything voiceover. All the information you need to start your voiceover career. All the information you need to start your voiceover career. It's almost throwing it away, but also making it very conversational. Like if someone came home and it's like, how are you doing today? And you shrugged, I don't know. I was just sitting around all day. It sounds very conversational. It automatically affects something in your brain and makes it a little bit more conversational. The next up is your body. Now this is more in the video game style. If you curl up your body and you're all shrugged up, you might sound like a little bit of an old man. Everything voiceover. All the voiceover you need for your voiceover career. A good posture, which I have not been in this entire podcast. Everything voiceover. All the information you need to start your voiceover career. That sounds like it'd be a little bit better of a podcast. Now, if I puffed out my chest, like Gaston, everything voiceover. All the information you need to start your voiceover career. If you do the Superman pose and you're standing up, it's going to sound a lot different. Now use those things. Use these things to your advantage. If you see confident, do the Superman or Peter Pan pose and just puff up your chest, and that'll automatically affect your confidence. You don't have to think about, all right, I'm a confident guy. I'm a confident guy. I'm a confident guy. And then if your body doesn't change, people are going to be able to hear it. Now, the last thing you do, and probably the most important thing, is your voice. Now, voice, you can change 3 major things, and, people have other, timbre and all those other things. These are the major things that I think are important. Tone. You can go high, you can put your voice as high as you want, or you can put your voice as low as you want. Higher tends to be, for males, higher tends to be a younger guy and not confident. Lower has a tendency to be an older man who maybe has a little bit more confidence. Rate, the rate at which you talk. If you're talking very fast and you're talking about everything voiceover, all the information you need to start your voiceover career. And if you did it low, you might be talking about maybe a virus. Everything voiceover. All the information you need to get your voiceover career. Choose this antivirus software. Everything voiceover. All the information you need for your voiceover career. You might sound like an old-timey announcer like I do. Who knows? My point is not to sound like me, but the point is to figure out what's your voice. What happens with your voice when you change the rate and you change the tone and to make it high and you make it low. There may be already caricatures in your brain that you push forward when you change any combination of these things, and you will create characters that you can use throughout your entire voiceover career. And then there's also the quality of your voice. A lot of time people ask for a gruff voice. Now, do they want a gruff low voice? Probably. That's a gruff voice. Do they want a gruff high voice? I don't know. This doesn't sound like something else. This sounds like somebody who's got some problems. Now, if you want a smooth voice, you gotta connect different parts of your sentences. But I'm smooth. Who knows? You can combine any one of those things. Now, the point of this whole podcast isn't for you to think I'm crazy. The point of it is just to give you ideas of how versatile your voice is. It's just using your body and allowing your body to influence your mind. And it's a beautiful thing when you can control it. If you're going for cartoons or if you're going for video games, they want you to use your body. They want you to jump up and down. They want you to fight, and you want to grunt. You want to actually grunt. When someone's like, you got punched in the ribs, you may have to just punch yourself in the ribs, Now, there's so many different other parts of voice acting, and I'll try and go into it in another podcast when it comes to script analysis, knowing how to start, knowing where to start, using your slate correctly. There's so many different parts that encompass acting. And if you want to take an acting class, I definitely encourage it. Acting and improv are only going to make you a better voice actor. And the good thing about that is, like, acting and improv are probably going to be sold by people who just want to teach acting. Sometimes you'll get acting classes where the whole point is trying to get an agent, and that's definitely useful. But there's also going to be acting classes that are solely for just helping people learn how to act. And improv is just fun. I do it all the time. If you come up to New York, you might be able to come check out a couple of my shows. I love doing improv. So that has been the first Everything Voiceover podcast that went into the acting style for voice acting. I'll go ahead and do a couple more of these because I could talk about this for hours. So hopefully this inspired you to feel like your voice isn't always just going to be the same voice you've always got. You can change it. And the cool thing about it is that, and now here's a little tip. If you do an impersonation of someone you've never done an impersonation before, watch how that turns into a very distinct character that has never existed. That's a beautiful thing to watch. So like if I've never done Anthony Hopkins before, and I've just been watching a lot of Westworld, my name is Anthony Hopkins. That is nothing like Anthony Hopkins, but it's somebody, and that's a cool thing, So, thank you guys for listening to this crazy podcast. My apologies if this had zero use to you, but I'm really hoping that you can go out after this podcast, do a couple weird things with your face, with your body, and just listen to how your voice changes. And hopefully this inspires you to next time you see a video game audition to do something different. Change your body, do different things with your voice, shrug a lot more. See if it works out for you. And come down to everythingvoiceover.com. Follow us on Twitter at everythingv. And thank you guys so much for listening. My name's Justin D. Torres. Head on over to everythingvoiceover.com, and we will see you on the next podcast. Take care. Bye.